New DLC coming out for Dead Cells on March 6th, so I decided to prep up for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start up yet another new save file. This is sort of a biannual event around here, but I was reminded in the last stream I was doing that this game really has changed up an awful lot since its early days, so it is worth just occasionally kind of going through, checking out what it was like when you're first starting. Maybe if alone, just to give sort of a semi-guide, perhaps, to what it's like getting started here. Because, of course, Dead Cells, there's a lot of stuff to do, and not all of it is very clear. I would hesitate to call this an actual guide. If I was going to do a real guide, it would be something along the lines of that video I got for how do I get those tubes. You know, 10 seconds of this is what it is. Jump. Primary weapon. Chopping block right over here. It's never a good time to having your head chopped off. But, like, yeah, no, I feel like if I'm going to do this on stream, what it's going to end up being is like an old Onion headline. I remember, like a YouTube essayist spends 40 minutes explaining the origins of eating to the... to the waiter before actually ordering. So I will put some timestamps in the comments about, you know, some more notable parts of the stream. We'll talk a lot of strategy, but it's going to be overall be a very casual affair is how I'm feeling. Still, though, I'm going to try and talk a lot about, like, hey, how do we actually play this game and everything, because it might start out fairly easy right now, but picks up quite a bit very quickly. Oh, yes. No, and you won't be the last. No, in fact, we'll be seeing plenty of people coming out here. All right, break through doors, secondary weapon. Oh, yeah, one of the things I always like doing when first starting a save file. How long can I keep secondary weapon up on top of the character? I mean, you know, obviously just kind of hit everybody here or roll through for invincibility. Game, of course, always when you're first starting out feels very, like, squirrely, very inaccurate. But as soon as you start to get used to it, it's very, very natural. Of course, the game is meant to be played very fast. And, you know, to that point, when you're first starting out here, although I could end up fighting every single enemy, yeah, zombies do drop zombie loot and everything like that. Ultimately, it's not necessary. I mean, the loot you get is pretty minimal and not really something you need to actually, like, make progress. Sure, a little bit of extra money here and there, and of course, eventually the no-hit doors and time doors and everything like that are going to become a little bit more important, but for right now, I would almost say, you know, to get really used to fighting enemies, run past them. Okay, well, brutality. We're looking at fast melee weapons, damage over time. Damage over time is, of course, extremely powerful in Dead Cells. Would definitely recommend trying to make builds around that eventually as you get more items. But for right now, I don't know if I have too much unlocked that I can really make brutality work for me. Tactics, very early in the game, good. That's how you get the really big damage, huge builds, everything like that. But it is also where you get the least amount of health, and, you know, being able to dodge around and everything becomes that much more important. At this point in the game, it's good, though. It's actually quite good, and I could have a very easy time if I ended up taking a tactics build. Survival, though. Oh, yeah, big, heavy weapons. We're talking about crowd control, stunning, slowing, everything like that. And honestly, when you're first starting out, this is one of my favorite ones to take, and I am going to be taking survival. Obviously, the weapons that I have right now do not really scale with that. Sure, I mean, the shield does, but I'm not really going to be using the shield as a primary attacking mechanism. It's reactive. It's a reactive item, and that means that it is sort of... it's slower. I want to go fast in this game. This game's about going fast, at least to me, when I play it. So, yeah, we'll do that. No, but I'm going to be looking for something... There's a very particular build when you're first starting out that I think works better than anything else, and I'm going to be trying to do that. Nothing. Don't worry, that'll change very soon. Forgot how slow DC is in lower cells. Yeah, It takes a little while to really gear up, but let's be honest, you know what it's like on the higher difficulties. It's starting you out nice and slow in this game is good. It's a good thing. God, the difficulty, let me tell you, I still say difficulty in Dead Cells gets a real auto whack real quick. Okay, come on now. I thought I could stun him out of attacking. Hit stunning, usually you get like a good feeling for that, like how hit stunning, grab that there, how hit stunning works pretty quickly. And you know, when you can kind of just sit there attacking enemies, knowing that they'll just kind of get stunned out of most of their attacks. But, well, if I'm not actually building for brutality and, you know, I'm taking survival here, I should be a little bit more cautious, you know? Did you just die? No, I got hit. I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm not doing perfect runs. Yeah, sure, I played the game an awful lot, but I'm not, you know, here trying to do perfect runs right now. We're just doing a little bit of an introduction to the video game, you know? Because like I said, this is probably nearly unrecognizable if you played this back in 2017, 2018. It's like, you know, things like brutality and everything, totally different. I already got all the stuff for unlocking some of the crossover items here. But hey, here's at least 1 point of brutality. That's nice. You always want to carry around at least one amulet, even if it's not like one of your primary weapons, just because, well, one stat is at least a little bit of extra health. I'm going to be building stats in a way where I am stacking it all into one single color. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that if you're playing this game for the first time. However, since, you know, I know how to dodge around everything and whatnot, it's like I'm going for maximum damage, and that means, you know, the way everything scales, stacking it all into one stat is sort of the way you want to go. But if you're just starting out, get some more health. This game is real brutal, and, you know, it can be rough if you don't do that. But when you start to feel like, hey, I'm not quite getting the amount of damage that I feel like I need to, things are taking, yeah, okay, that is everything I can do right now. Things are taking way too long to kill. Maybe try just stacking it all into one stat. It can work, certainly. All right. Are you really not going to press Y? It's fun to see how long I can keep the little message above me. Okay, but it does go away when you actually go through the door. Anyway, shields. You can hold them out. You can parry. I almost always go for the parry because, you know, I'm so used to timing and everything. But the holding stuff out, especially if you, say, have mutations, perks, and whatnot, that allow you to take a little bit of extra damage after you take damage, well, that's a good way to activate that. Of course, parrying prevents damage entirely and stuns enemies or does some other wacky thing. That's what makes that really useful to do. 1 minute, 25 seconds ago. I mean, especially for the first couple areas, not too difficult to accomplish. 30 enemies without taking damage, a little bit rougher. However, that's where taking like a tactics build or something comes in. Being able to kill things from distance, of course, is a lot more preferable compared to killing things right next to when you're right next to them. However, man, it's later on you have so little health when you take a tactics build. Tactics builds are great. They're great, but they're also very risky. Risk reward, you know how that goes. All right. And of course, you're going to want the health flask. I mean, I think it goes without saying, yeah, health flask is probably the first thing you're going to want to get. More than anything else. Preserves up to 500 bucks when you die. Well, 5 cells is not much. I can throw that on right now. Recycling. I'm surprised I haven't just tried to recycle something out of force of habit alone. But no. Restock is great. Oh, I'd love to get restock, but unlocking 18 more items is frustrating. So I think best idea here, keep going for that health flask. Hello. Where? Jan, how you doing? Where do you even get those corpses? Yeah, I'm in a little bit. Haven't unlocked any other outfits just yet. Look, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't think any place in this game smells good. I think this is probably a very bad smelling game. Not that I have a nose to be able to do anything with, regardless. Cool, great, nice. So, what are we looking at here? Necromancy, unlocked from the very beginning. It used to be always take this. But now that it's only, you know, up to a maximum of 50% health, it's a little bit less useful. Still, pretty good mutation. Yeah, the old revive one time. Honestly, when you're first starting out, I think this is a good one to take. Lets you kind of stay in the battle a little bit longer and gives you an advantage because after you die, you freeze enemies for a little bit, which is pretty great. Instinct did not used to be something that you started out with. That's kind of interesting. This is not very good until late game. 0.16% is nothing. But yeah, I'm going for survival. Should be taking something survival. Vengeance, yeah, things that give you perks that give you abilities on being hit. Pretty nice. Combo I always like. That's a good one. And just a little bit of a buff up as long as you're kind of moving quickly. You know how that is. Blind Faith is also good, but reactive shields are reactive. I like to be very aggressive in my play style and everything, which is why I usually don't end up taking that. 3 seconds though is a lot. Well, let's take YOLO. The YOLO. Yeah, if you didn't get that, that's what it says. Refill your flask. Get out here into the promenade. Bad smells why these guys are always wearing scarves. Probably. I mean, this game is... I always think, you know... I struggle to think of many horror games where things probably smell nice. And I mean, yeah, no, this is not a horror game, but you know, with the Castlevania DLC, that's a good comparison. Where that's not a horror game, but it's like horror themed. That place also probably smells terrible. Hey, got the first blueprint, which I think is, now that I'm thinking about it, isn't this usually like a 100% drop from one of the zombies? These dudes right here, somewhere in the area. And of course, it happens to be the first one I'm fighting. So, the classic, the blood sword. It does exactly what you think it is. That's right, it is imbrued with blood, and is very gross when you slash enemies. No, here we are. This is what I was looking for. It you know, causes enemies to bleed. Is it also covered in blood? Perhaps. I don't know. But hey, bleed, it's good. Bleed weapons have some of the best affixes in the entire game. Stuff like propagating it all around them. Stuff like causing poisoning as well as bleeding. Those are some good ways to get a lot of extra damage. And as I was saying, damage over time, already pretty good in this game just overall. But of course, the weapon I picked up, Nutcracker. #1 part to one of the best builds that you can get right out the box. Trust me. I don't have the other bit here, but as soon as I get that, trust me, it will be very good. All right. First boss of the entire game. And man, let me tell you, it's not that much. I mean, the Undead Archer. Big thing with this guy is that, you know, instead of shooting only one arrow that you can duck underneath, shoots 2 arrows. Yeah, boss. I mean, I would consider this a boss to a certain extent. Just kind of like keep your distance, double jump over the arrows. Oh yeah, can you actually? when he turns into the big style elite, it shoots the second arrow so high that you can just duck underneath it. That's kind of funny. Money on the boss. Oh, come on now. I feel like you should have a little bit more faith in me here. But yeah, there's also one of your first examples of turrets just being incredibly powerful. Now, most turrets, and there you go, creates Vine. But yeah, most turrets, of course, do scale with tactics, which is not what I'm using right now. But they do also allow you to focus entirely on just dodging around rather than attempting to, you know, also get damage in there, which makes them very, very good. Now, they only work if you're very close to them and everything, but you know, we're talking like boss arenas and whatnot. You're gonna be very close to the boss. So it's a great way to have some DPS dealt. And maybe some of the better builds that you're gonna get. Especially if eventually you might want to go for like hitless bosses. That's a good way to do that. Oh boy, throwing knife. And of course, I don't even have the ability to sell stuff right now. No, I'm going for a bit of a survival build. Taking a shield is a good idea. Hey, I mean, you start with 1,000 failures before you get one success, it feels like sometimes. It's a learning process, right? I'm talking about this in Dead Cells. God, these things, protectors, they're terrible. No, that's it. And of course, this is one of the more benign examples you're going to find of them. Still extremely annoying, though. Eesh. For some reason, I thought the Nutcracker was an axe. It actually took quite a while. You know, despite having your head chopped off by a big axe, it takes quite a while for you to actually get an axe in the game, and took quite a while for an axe to be introduced into the game. Kind of funny in that way. Anyway, some runes on the ground, can't really do much with. But more stuff to give me some extra stats here. I will end up taking that. Hey, new guy, I need some pointers. Oh, come on now. I was just saying that it's like, yeah, I know. We are doing the full explanation of stuff. If you played this game for 1,000 hours, you probably know everything. But I don't know, I felt like doing a semi-guide right now. I feel like some people might appreciate it. I don't know. For some reason, there are a bunch of series on the YouTube channel that still get kind of... Oh, that's the first time Dodge appeared. For some reason, like, get treated as, like, semi-guides. Maybe that can be my wheelhouse at some point, you know? Trying to do, like, actual guides for video games. As of late, with the DLC that's come out for Rain World, I've had people, like, being like, hey, thanks for helping me get through, like, the garbage wastes. And, you know, helping me understand what exactly you need to do with scavengers, which is just like, oh, yeah, that was like a thing in that game. A thing that's not very clear when you're first playing it. Or like people yelling at me how my guide on playing Death's Gambit is not very good. And that was never meant to be a guide. Anyway. Okay. Not turning on outlines? Outlines? I mean, I got the enemy attack indicator, which I think is pretty useful. And of course, oh, you know, actually something right now. Hey, I don't know if this is automatically turned on at this point in time, but right down here. No. Maybe it is actually automatically turned on. How many enemies you've killed without taking damage? Because I remember I've gotten a lot of questions about that back in the day. But I guess... Oh, here we go. Display the number of enemies killed without being hit. That's a little skull in the corner. Turn that one on. It's very useful. Like, would highly recommend. 10 out of 10. But yeah. Least favorite Dead Cells enemy? Gold Gorgers. But of course, we're not going to see them for a little bit. Now, are we? I think that's pretty much everything I can do in here right now. You know, I can't get up here. Can't use everybody's favorite little smiley face teleport coffins, so... Yep, on to the ramparts. Outlines are inaccessibility. I mean, I might go do it. Now, Doc can do it for the Vine. Just go get my Vine Boom sound effect on Steam Deck. What is the thing that people use to have a bunch of sound effects on all the time? So yeah, especially when you're first starting out, getting these cell doors, you know, going through places expediently or without taking damage, very good. And here we are, the second half. Wolf Trap and Nutcracker. This is such... You get this right from the very beginning. It's just an automatic critical for the weapon, and it does really good damage, and the Wolf Trap, keeping enemies held in place, is amazing. If you're starting the game for the first time, would recommend using that. It's just great. It is just a great combination. You get it immediately. What more do I need to say? All right, then aside from that, maybe even Blind Faith to be able to throw down more of those. Vengeance. I mean, even without building for Brutality, I am still getting good damage off of that. Sure, why not? Don't really have a whole ton of stuff unlocked right now, so it's probably worth taking, right? You know, soundboard? I have a friend and it's hell when they use it. I mean, needless to say, it's just like I am using your vanilla OBS. I don't even know how any of that stuff works. I've had people try to use like the bot commands and everything, and I'm just like, I don't think I have that turned on. I also don't even know how to turn it on. All right, boss number 2. And maybe one of the most important ones to fight here. But it's also a good opportunity to show off just how powerful the build is. Observe! And done. And I mean, yeah, boss. It's just an elite version of the zombies, but still. Boss. Yeah. Unknown artifact. Oh boy, this one is one of the most essential ones for the entire game. Custom mode. And you might be like, oh, I don't know, custom mode sort of feels. No, the game is built around using custom mode. Use custom mode. Don't feel like it's like you're ruining your gameplay experience or whatever. It's like, use custom mode. You get it right in this area. And you're going to have a lot of items that you'll probably end up unlocking and being like, oh, I don't really like this all that much. Then great, use custom mode, please. Trust me on this one. Fall in love with that mode. Motion Twin developed this game to be used with that. How you have the talent to interrupt your strawman. Yeah, I mean, it's what I've actually had like the second guy tell me, like, you go through a lot of voices on stream. And I'm like, I don't even really think about that, but I do, don't I? Hey, nice. Rare blueprint. Ice bow. Now, ice bow's not really my favorite. It's decent. It would actually probably synergize pretty decently with this this particular weapon, but it's I guess I'll talk more about it when I eventually unlock the thing. All right, here we go. Poggers. I mean, hey, I'm here to get pretty much everything. I don't know how much you know what? First opportunity to do a parry. But anyway, yeah, it's like I don't really know how much I'm going to go into this new save file. Probably planning quite a bit. Do like some daily streams for a little bit here. Yeah, if any enemy has a star over their head, they have a scroll of some variety. Or they got like a very powerful weapon, and very rarely a Philosopher's Stone, which is just a money item that's worth a ton. And when I say a ton, I mean like tens and tens and tens of thousands of monies. It's more than it would really be possible to get this early in the game, regardless of how hard you might try. Of course, that is so incredibly rare, you'll almost never see it. I think I've seen it maybe like a total of 6-7 times over the 2,000 hours I've been playing the game. 75,000. Okay. It is one of those very, very rare things, but it's not like that much, you know, more important, powerful. Ah! That was close. Oh, great. It's the box elite. One of my favorites to fight. That's fine. This would already be over if I had my, here we go. Yeah, if I had that up. And I still can't sell anything right now. I keep forgetting about it. Oh, runners are actually what started my party journey. You know, how fast they attack, and they have different. I mean, you know, that's the other thing. It's like you can run past a lot of enemies at this point, but there are also a lot of enemies that will kind of prevent that from happening. Not many of them have been introduced just yet, but it's only going to be a matter of time. Like these guys right here, Inquisitors. I want to say probably have the most... They're not the hardest enemies to deal with, but they have probably the most kills on me in the entire time I've been playing the game, just because they're very frustrating to deal with. And as you get a little bit farther in the game, they tend to, appear in every single area possible, and I threw down the wrong item there. Okay, now come on. Really. I'm forgetting all of the things that I actually have accessible and whatnot right now. It's like, hey, what are the things that I can do? Can I, you know, half the runes and whatnot here? All right, anyway, bruh. Whatever. I feel like I found one of the Philosopher's Stones a little bit more recently, but can't really tell you exactly where. Oh yeah, Inquisitors, when you're cursed, they're terrible. More things to unlock crossover outfits. That's the one for, of course, I'm surprised that that's appearing so early, but that's one, of course, for the Slay the Spire outfit. When I'm thinking of Cursed Artifact, oh yeah, that's also a pretty rare one too. But you know, it also curses you on top of giving you a lot of money. Philosopher's Stone is just money. It's pretty nice. But, you know. Also, it's just curses are just an entire thing unto themselves, right? Very frustrating. But, I mean, of course, not super essential to beat in the game. There's plenty of times where I just kind of say, no, I don't want to be cursed. But at the same time, well, those give you a lot of advantages. We'll get to that later, though. Okay. These are another one of those enemies that try and prevent you from just running away from them. Biters. Of course, they're pretty simple to deal with. Got a big wind up on their attacks, so it's not too bad. Alright, here's this here. Of course, you can also go up top. Hey, wait a second. Where's the secret? Do they have it so it's not always a secret? It used to always be a secret. Huh. The red birds are called buzzsaws. How many times are they going to change this? I'm never going to learn these names at this rate. Yeah, I think that's about everything I'm going to do. Okay, is there a new DLC coming? Yep, March 6th. March 6th. So, yeah. Alright, floor sweepers. Got a mind distaste for those. And I can understand that. Bloodsword's only actually like 5. And this is also not too bad either. But, you know, of course, I think Health Flask is still going to be more important here. Unlock 7 more items. What else do I want to do? Gold reserves, probably good. Any one of the starting things probably going to be useful. Probably melee weapon the most, though. Maybe more than anything else. And then, Blind Faith, I don't know. I got a shield. Why not? At least on my birthday. That's a sign. We'll see. Hopefully I can finish up with this new save file stuff here before that happens. But, who knows? Maybe try and do like a daily stream or something for a little bit here. All right, first boss, Concierge. Slow, pretty predictable in terms of hits. I still got hit by him anyway. But, you know, it does have one very annoying ability. To do this. And man, this has changed so much over the course of the game overall. It's like, I remember points in time where it was so huge that you couldn't possibly roll past it. Where, like, due to the way that some of the game mechanics work, you would actually move so fast that it would be almost impossible to dodge. And, like, overall, it's just a pain. However, just kind of give them a little bit of space. That's why, you know, once again, like, tactics builds can work out really well for fighting enemies. And I suppose, you know, hey, I got Blind Faith. Let's go get the parry here. Right into doing that. And that should actually end up this fight quicker than I'm thinking. The incomplete one. Once again, with the many names that characters have. This goes down to about half health. Switches between sweep and jump. Sweep and jump. I mean, one of the easiest things to do, of course. If you want to, is... Hey, come on. Trying to show the people at home here. The easiest things to do is try and get him in the middle of the parry. We'll stop him like that and everything. But also any sort of crowd control will sort of prevent him from jumping. You can also, I think, just walk underneath the jump, too. Like, the hitbox actually allows that. But it's only at, like, a very, very specific point. Otherwise, you'll still get hit by it. I've had that happen, though, before. Overall, though, pretty simple boss. Definitely going to be the one that you perfect first before anything else. And that gives me 3rd rune. Which just allows you access to the daily challenge. I mean, it lets you do dailies. Not the most impressive of things, of course. Still don't have recycle. But now I do have Flint. I actually don't really like this item. So... might remain locked for a while. Long time no see. Why make a new save? Well, I got a new DLC coming out, and I'm just like, maybe for anybody that's getting into the game with a new DLC, I can have this going on. And yes, this is the one blueprint that actually wait, or is there a second one? Well, it's one of the very few blueprints that appears in these time doors. You got the root grenade. Never used to like that one too much, but I've actually turned around quite a bit on it since they've improved it. Okay, so there's actually quite a few. That's the one I remember. The Root Grenade, formerly Ivy Grenade, is the one that I really remember. Hey, facing the wrong direction. Yo, dog, having so much fun with Dead Cells content. Recently got back into the game. Love having somebody else compare and get angry with this game. Even if you play it for 2,000 hours, it's still difficult. Of course, maybe that's just me. Maybe if everybody else plays it, you know, to a... And not gonna do this one just yet. Maybe a little bit later. Legendary Forge is, of course, the big grind of the game. So that'll probably be like an entire stream where I just go and get that entirely unlocked. But yeah. Flint is a weapon I want to love, but damage is just not good for how awkward it is. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weapons like that exist where it's just... I could just use a simpler weapon. Like, for example, all Nutcracker requires is have an enemy frozen or rooted. And that's simple. It's an easy to fulfill critical condition. But some of them ask you to do some real wacky stuff, which is... kind of frustrating. Can I actually go into the Fractured Shrines? I mean, this is a DLC area. Thought that would have kind of prevented me from doing that on my first run. And that can't really get into for right now. No, let's go to the traditional style here. Looking at you, Crowbar. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, well. That's how that goes. This area. Man, I remember when, like, pirate captains used to be one of the most powerful enemies that you could fight in the entire game. Got a bunch of different hits, whether you're in melee range, whether you are in... Learn to love those guys. Exploding bats are going to be all over the place later. But, like, yeah, they got, like, you know, the very large sort of ranged attack. They got, like, a good melee attack, too. Decent amount of health. Now, of course, they failed in comparison to the arms race that has been some of the newer content here. I mean, even like the weirded warriors, the little crab fellows with the katanas, are... They just completely shut down ranged builds. You gotta hit them with melee or get them with, like... Or hit them in very particular points in time. It's annoying regardless of how you look at it. Now, I also remember... Almost got me. Always keep an eye on the edges of the screen in Dead Cells, because that is... Because they love to have... You know, unlike a lot of other video games where they will kind of prevent multiple enemies from attacking you. It's like, no, you're always having something attack you from just barely off-screen in Dead Cells. Whew. Legendary Flint. Yeah, I hear Legendary Flint is pretty good, but I haven't even seen a legendary item because I got hit in the boss fight. The no-hit for the boss fight. Well, we'll get there eventually. Because at the very least, Concierge alone is pretty easy to do that with. Hey, Cherry. Getting the channel representation here. Okay, stop getting hit by stuff. Jeez. Hit the shrine. I don't have the ability to do anything with the shrine, though. Also, that's crossover items, you know? Hey, Cudgel. Cudgel stuns enemies when the parry's successful. Which is, of course, good. Once again, good synergy with this item alone. All right, then. Oh, what else are we looking at? But yeah, if you hit the shrine here... No. Okay, if I get rid of nearby enemies first, and then hit the shrine, summons a few of the imps from Risk of Rain. You gotta kill them and you can unlock an outfit. But I can't do that right now because I do not have the build or the stats to make that really work. So that will go undone for now. All right, here's where affixes start to really come into play. Because, of course, the exploding bats, very little health. Will you just kill him already? Oh, there's Heart of Ice. New mutation. I didn't even mean to pick that one up. I meant to grab the cheese. But whatever. Hey, that one is one that works with that is a survival mutation. Might end up taking that. Maybe. I don't know if it really works with this particular survival build, but I mean, it's here. All right. Legendary effects are somewhat disappointing, somewhat game-changing. I mean, they are unique to the item, which is sort of what... Which, I mean, and that means that it sort of depends. It can sometimes be unique to the item, But I mean, each one of the items has their own specific unique one that they have. Even if you might see it in other affixes. We'll get into that when we actually start to see some of the things. For right now, though, I'm mostly focused on just, like, not dying in the first run that I'm doing. Which has been kind of bad. Alright, well, I mean, I guess I probably should go do full clears of stuff. More often than not, I don't really feel like getting chests every single time if I already have my build mostly worked out. But, you know, you can always get money from it when you eventually get the recycle ability. I just do not have that one as of just yet. So, you know, I'm really just going to go up, maybe see if I got an upgrade for something, and then leave. It is not really an upgrade for something. Freezing enemies. Useful. Slows them down alongside stunning, but I don't know if it's particularly useful for me right now. Did see that, though. Really rather just keep the... You keep enemies stunned for longer with the wolf trap, after all. But, you know, it's like, hey, worst comes to worst. It is something potentially useful if you don't have a wolf trap. And one more. Oh, legendary stuff. All kinds of different stuff that you can get in this game depending on items. But it's like, I mean, I'm not even talking too much about affixes just yet. Especially because, you know, with the amount of them and everything, there's a lot of different things you can have on an item. And it's very difficult to try and get specific ones if you're trying to maximize your damage or whatever. No, I was already in here. Never mind then. Okay. Well, anyway. You know, they don't damage you. The imps... No, the imps don't damage you. They're just a bonus thing, but... You know, they're built with the idea that you use the risk of rain specific weapon in mind, which I don't have just yet. I don't know when you actually start getting those weapons. Because, of course... You know, at the point in time I had gotten them, I'd been using a save file that had done over 10,000 runs. Impy, bro. Alright, more survival, as always. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend always stacking into your main stat, but I'm going to do that. I mean, I would actually probably not recommend doing that, but, you know, at least when you first start now. When you know how every single enemy attacks and can be relatively sure that you're not going to be hit by it, except for this run, apparently. And don't stun enemies with projectiles, just if they try to hit you melee style. Hey, Electric Whip. That is one of the other really super good, really super high tier weapons that you have unlocked from the very beginning. But its true potential is not going to shine until a little bit later. Right now, it's just, you know, a decent weapon. Doesn't work with my build at all, so, you know, I'm not going to be using it, but still. Keep that one in mind for later. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. How to get the weird secret area behind the level exit in the stage? I will do that eventually. It requires me to get another rune, specifically, that I'm not going to get for at least a couple more runs. Yeah, there is a certain amount of progress that is locked behind runes that you got in this game. Mostly because it's like you literally can't get to the area that it's behind unless you have that rune. Yo, the best item in the game. There's some pretty good items in the game. I think about one that you get for finishing the true ending, which we'll see eventually, but that one might take some time. Still, though, Electric Whip is one of the best items in the game. I mean, even as a whip, it has the ability to go through shields, which can be worth a lot. Shield bearers are annoying. Well, anyway, anything else? So I kind of covered everything, I think. No, I missed the other... Okay, I went into the same shop twice. That's a food shop. You buy food there. I'm not going to do that. Get me out of here. Yeah, you did also get the baseball bat introduced, but that one's also going to take some time to unlock. What are the invincibility shield? That's the force shield. No, not the force shield. What is that called? Also a good one, though. Rampart shield. Yeah, that one. Rampart. Hey, just barely enough. I should really get recycling already so that I can, you know, get some money from all the items I'm leaving around here. Hey. Hi. Patch up the gear for cheap. Yeah, this is about the point in time that... Yeah, I know. It was about the point in time to start talking about, well, upgrades and everything. Probably worth upgrading stuff. Yeah, no, that's about it. Why not? It used to be that upgrading stuff back in the day would actually give you stats, like having it be at plus would give you one stat and everything, but not anymore. Now it's just, you know, more of whatever it does, damage in this case. Even though that damage you can't actually use unless you're doing what damage over time. That's the only thing that actually procs that, or hits from weapons. So it's not that great, but hey, I did it anyway. Here, of course, is also where you get reforging. So, affixes. A lot of them are just does something. It does the extra damage on a bleeding target, extra damage on a stun target, extra damage on a frozen target, etc. and so on. Some of them not particularly useful. I just think about stuff like drops a grenade when destroyed. And it obviously generates a toxic cloud if you got like extra damage on a poison target. It's pretty useful. But the more interesting things are ones that give you, stuff like critical hits plus 30%, I'll take that. You know, like and each weapon type has its own unique things. Shots piercing target for a lot of the ranged weapons are ones that I would definitely recommend getting if you can. But, you know, anything that just, if you have poison, bleed, fire, oil, whatever, try and get something that synergizes with that. Overall, though, I know that as I start to get a little bit higher up in the difficulty, I usually go for more defensive type of stuff, whether that is affixes, whether that is mutations, rather than offensive type of stuff. But just kind of trying to pick and choose on that sort of stuff. You got a little bit of extra cash to spend is not a bad idea. Yeah, 300% after. Yeah, but it's only after parry. I would probably get something a little bit different with this. I don't know if this one has like the ability to get extra stun time, but that would probably be the one to get with Cudgel. Well, let's see. Critical hits plus, burns enemies, biters crawl from the dead. Hey, that one's not that good. You know. What else you got? Burns enemies, burn when they die, absorbs. I never really hold up shields. I only ever do parries though, which is why that's not that good. Well. Yes, there's a lot of very good items in the game. We'll get them all eventually. Cudgel cannot get stun time. Dang. Because I was sort of... Because, like, that is... there's, like, the stun grenade that can do that. I was wondering if Cudgel, since it's a stun-based item, could also get that. Not so much. Clock Tower, where you can see very clearly that Dark Souls 3 sort of background. You can see that even on, like, the title screen, but, you know. See a lot better here. Okay, this is when things start to get real. So, the trackers. They're the sort of enemies that will not allow you to run away from them. If you run away fast enough, they can still kind of find themselves falling into spikes or whatever, but these, I remember, didn't used to be in this area, but they were one of the most annoying enemies when they were first introduced. Not that much anymore. Hey, do you mind? Well, here, let me get behind you, because you'll try and jump away from me. And this is what I want. Oh, yeah, baby. Get that 30% extra stuff. That's what I'm looking for. But, yeah. I'm thinking this build is already looking a lot better, and, you know, which is good, because this is the point in time that it's actually going to start to count. Of course, the other thing with the Clock Tower is that it does have this new enemy, this funky fellow over here. Let's actually just kind of, like, take them out alone. Cannibals are really annoying. They're fast. They got like that huge 3-hit combo. They've also got like a disengagement type of attack where they'll try and run away from you and throw a bomb down, which is really easy to get hit by. Oh, they are some for real enemies. I mean, yeah, after trackers, well, was like the cannibals the next really serious enemy introduced? It's like they're where problems might start coming in. Unfortunately, they do not have the same sort of ability to try and follow you by teleporting. Also invisible dudes here, the automatons, which are also annoying. At least you can kind of get a good opportunity to see where they're at first. So I would almost say first time you're coming here, run past the cannibals. Don't even try messing around with them. It's just the juice ain't worth the squeeze. But of course, they are also very vulnerable to getting parries and everything. So maybe just try and go for that. Bombardiers. Bombs that explode into bombs. They're annoying, but pretty manageable. Keep moving. Keep moving is what I would say. Of course, you got the right build here. And still kind of take out everything anyway. Just the sheer amount of traps in this area. It's so annoying. Can't even tell you how many times I've just, especially, working with curses and whatnot, just jumped into a ball and chain and just had a run end right there. Ugh. But if you're even taking it, just kind of like use the second stick, look around a little bit. You'll know if you're about to jump into something stupid. Yeah, that one right there. This setup right here is the worst. Well, hey, at least at this point in time, I'm not taking too much damage from traps, so it's probably for the best. Timing isn't weird, it just heavily punishes panicking. This is Dead Cells. If you're not panicking a little bit, you're not playing the game right. It kind of really doesn't like players holding up shields or summon bonuses for doing stuff hitless. Why would anybody voluntarily take damage? There are really good builds by taking damage, and I'm probably going to show that off. I'm thinking right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up doing a different run for every single one of these runs that I do. So right now we got Nutcracker, Wolf Trap. I'll probably try to avoid doing those for a lot of the future runs for this particular save file. Dead Cells is only panicking. It is, I mean, that's the thing. It's like this game has so many things that will also punish you for like not disengaging hard enough too. So if you're panicking and you're like, I'm just gonna kill the enemy before it can kill me. Nope, it is not gonna work that way. There's a lot of points in time that you really just want to be like, just run, just get out of there, just go before things get worse. All right, give me that. 3-hit combo mixed with the turning around. Yeah, the sudden turnaround. It's like always reminded me of like a old Dark Souls 2 type of stuff where people are talking about how those statues in the Tower of Hades, what is it called? Sure. Get a little bit of an upgrade here. Yeah, I mean look at the comparison here. 2 versus Nutcracker 7. Yeah, it's a significant improvement. That's why you always want to kind of grab later items before you try and go for levels on stuff. It's just, I wanted to go for a very particular build, and I'm doing that right now. Hi. Oh, I saw this enemy has a little bit of extra defense on them. What's that from, you might ask? Well, directly above me is a legendary item. It actually, if it's like a legendary item you don't want, then it's super annoying because it just buffs up enemies, and then you go and sell this thing later anyway. But here, though, legendary wolf trap, yes please. Freezes enemies when the effect ends. Not the most impressive of stuff, all things considered, but it is also significantly more powerful than the current wolf trap that I'm using. And one of the fun things with legendary items is that you can have 2 of them at once. If at least one of them is legendary. So let's go double wolf trap build for, okay, that's not really, there are some weapons that are just extremely ludicrously overpowered if you can get 2 of them at one point in time. Think about like boomerangs, for example. But wolf trap, not so much. Still though, just for the novelty of it. Why not? Can you show us the bell puzzle? We can do the bell puzzle, sure. It's just one of those ones that takes so long to end up doing. But when I clear out the entire area, we can do that. Why did I get 2 of these at once? That was totally pointless. I don't want to be here for 3 days. Too bad, we're doing it. For a fun unlock. Yeah. By the way, if you're doing the bell puzzle, would highly recommend clearing out pretty much the entire level first. Trust me. You ever played Hades? I have. I think last time I played Hades, I did the 16 heat statue unlock You know, finally did that after, you know, just kind of doing a quick return to it because I felt like it. I like that game well enough. I feel like I didn't like that game as much as, like, everybody else. Like, certainly it's pretty fun, but it is also, I don't even know what you would say. I just didn't get into it too much. All right, need this to actually finish up the area. A little bit risky. Just, you know, pretty obvious how you get that without taking damage. I'm not going to say that it's like I have taken that every single time not taking damage. Let's go see one of the lore rooms. Fun stuff. What number run was it when you won for the first time? Oh, God, I couldn't even tell you. It took a while, though. Yeah, no. Thank you, Hypixian, for pinning Hades is overrated. Mod privileges. All right. I beat first zero boss all on my first try. Entirely possible. Good luck trying to do that on, I don't know, some of the later difficulties, though. Secrets. Well, to get another electric whip, which I'm definitely not going to be using. What a useless feature. Well, you're all going to have to deal with it. Nothing else in here, then? Legendary Thunder Shield first? Oh, that is true. Legendary items. It's like the fact that I got a wolf trap is actually sort of surprising because they can be literally anything in the entire game. Even items that you don't have unlocked, even items that you would need to get into an area that would be entirely inaccessible to you on like this run or any run you would happen to be doing at that time. It's weird how that works sometimes. Mod power abuse. Ah, whatever. You deserve it. Next time I'm going to ban somebody. Okay, don't do that one, though. Have I ever, like, seriously banned anyone on this channel? I don't think I have. Well, this looks like about everything I'm going to get out of this level then, right? I mean, it's a pretty good amount of stuff, to be fair, so I think we should be fine. Yeah? Trying to consider if there's anything else I want to do before running on in here. All right. When legendary items were OP, legendary items have been changed up so much trying to figure out. I mean, they're colorless, which means that they can be used with any sort of build possible. Obviously, this one is just being used with the one that I have right now. Well, like, yeah, they used to scale off of 2 stats, which was just a ludicrous sort of feature. You could get them to be so incredibly powerful. Like ones that, like, sort of weapons that would otherwise be hyper useless, suddenly becoming amazing. Oh, I forgot the bell puzzle. Yeah, you got me. I'm so disappointed right now. Yeah, okay, yeah. I did. You got me. Fine. We'll do it later. Ah. It's all talking about that and then didn't do it. All right. Start banning people for being offensive in this chat. You have to ban everyone. Still. By the way, you can hit that door open. You don't have to open it by opening it. All right. Boss number 2. The Timekeeper. You know Maria of the Clock Tower? Well, this is that sort of fight. Anyway, shields. Very good in this fight. You can parry pretty much everything. That's sort of the easiest way to try and dodge a lot of that sort of stuff. Of course, like, one of the most important things is just kind of like keep a distance. And also, one of the great things about Wolf Trap is that a lot of enemies need to be facing a specific direction to hit you, and Wolf Traps will prevent that from happening. Ah, here we go. That can deal a lot of damage. However, if you have a shield, you can prevent most of that damage. And frankly, you can also prevent it just by holding up the shield, which is maybe one of the points in time that I would recommend holding up the shield more than anything else. All right. Good parries and everything thus far. Can you get into the wolf trap, please? Bosses, if they're in the middle of an attack, though, can still turn around. I have to get her before she starts up that attack, I think. Bah. But would you ban a car? I would. Would you ban Lightning McQueen from your chat? I probably would. I don't want him showboating around here. All right, the improved attacks here you can see being sort of a pain, but this is why this build is really good. Well, like, yeah, it is a manageable fight. It's a very fast fight, though, the first time you do it, and it's hard to really get a handle on a lot of the attacks. Oh, that's why having a shield is just so nice for this. Hey, I can actually sell stuff now. Lightspeed. I don't really like this item. I'm going to be honest. So we're probably not going to see too much about it. Yeah, the double item is due to being legendary. It is due to be... You can have 2 items as long as one of them is legendary. Otherwise, it's like that is something that the game tries to prevent you from doing. You can do it in a custom mode setting. You get anything better? Stuns the victim. I don't think the stun is long enough to actually get, you know, permanent sort of criticals, but maybe I'll try it at least. I don't know. Hey, there's Shovel Knight. Can't really do anything with that right now, but it's there. Anything else? Anything else? What am I looking at? Maybe the gold reserves? I don't know. That's one that I think I could at least reasonably unlock. So grab that and get going. What's the other area unlocked here right now? But I don't have the... Yeah, no, that's DLC town. And although I can apparently go into like fractured shrines, which is weird. Yeah. New save file? Yeah, we got new DLC coming up, so I'm thinking it's like, hey, let's do a new save file. Maybe do like something of a semi-guide specifically for you know, people that might happen to be coming in with the new DLCs. Also, it's just I like being able to make like noticeable sort of progress as you're going through the game, like actually unlocking stuff rather than just you know, we're gonna do a casual playthrough of the game. I think it's fun. Shovel Knight again. Took 3 days off work so the wiki comes out. Yeah, I might take a day off work just for like, hey, let's play Dead Cell DLC all day. Done that with a few other DLCs. Is that? Is that like a bear in the big blue house character? Is that the one? Is that what I'm thinking of? I've never seen that one before. Anyway. What's part you're most excited about with DLC? For me personally, it's music. Music's probably going to be a lot of bangers. I mean, already Castlevania has a lot of bangers, and it's just like I'm interested in seeing what they eventually do with that. Oh boy, less playing, more perusing the game files. Oh, you're gonna dive deep in there. King size for a king. All right, so what's your favorite part of the Cars movies? No. Anyway. All right. Still going to be checking out each one of the lore rooms. I don't have those, like, turned off or anything, do I? I know you can turn off lore rooms. I don't, though, because I still like having them on regardless. Whatever. No, okay. I don't have them disabled or the cutscenes or anything. Because, like, at least for this, I'm going to be checking out every one of them if we're doing, like, a new save file and everything. Very ominous. I wonder indeed. Anyway, my favorite part of the Cars movies is when the red British car gets turned into a dead cube. What? Wait, is that a thing that happens? Do they go full on like a brave little toaster? Because that would be something. All right, these enemies are annoying. They're also using all weapons that you can find elsewhere in the game. This being the War Spear, which I might end up unlocking at some point in time. You also got the broadsword up here, which used in a way that you definitely cannot do. Yeah, they can hit all around, including like above and below you. This is kind of a tricky area, I'm not gonna lie. It's not the easiest thing to try and get through. This is definitely one of those areas you might want to end up taking a bit slow. Because without them, you can run away from them. These guys will not stop to pursue you to the ends of the earth yet. But, you know, can still be sometimes easier said than done. But every single time you do anything, they've got some sort of attack that can even like attack you through the walls and whatnot. Oh, now that's a good one. Hayabusa gauntlets. Wow, might be seeing that in a future run here. Maybe, we'll see when. Poggers indeed. Okay, you can stun enemies by hitting them hard enough, of course, and I was trying to do that there. I think it worked. Okay. Cars 2 is a cheap ripoff of The Man Who Knew Too Little. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was. It was like some spy movie sort of thing. Of course, these guys right here, the Royal Guard, are some of the most annoying, because they will also go invincible in a lot of their attacks for a pretty decent amount of time, it feels like. So if you got take out the big guns for them. And get a bunch of mini-bosses in here. Fight all 3 for a prize. Well, 4 technically, since this is 2 mini-bosses. They're still the same as the regular enemies. Used to have weird gimmicks associated with them that didn't really appear anywhere else in the game. I don't think that's the case anymore, if anybody wants to correct me. But still, they were, used to be a little bit more difficult even. All right, Hades is no longer overrated. Hey, we did it, everybody. Supergiant, very happy right now, I'm assuming. Their game is currently rated properly. Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon 2 is going to be coming out of, is going to have like the 1.0 update soon, isn't it? Or is it just like another big update? I wasn't really paying attention. Maybe I'll actually go check out that game, finally. I was sort of waiting for it to get a few more updates. As much like the original Darkest Dungeon, I think it's probably going to be best after that. Worth it? Nah. I like what I got now. Cudgel, though, maybe. Flicks 300%, poisons. I mean, it's probably better. Why not? Okay. They used to? I don't think they do anymore. Okay, let's go for the next mini-boss here. Over in the laboratory area. The previous area. I used to have specific names for every one of these areas as I was going through them, and I can't remember what I called them anymore. But anyway, like the previous one is the ossuary. This is the laboratory, and then there's also a third one. Each with their own cool little aesthetic stuff to them. Yeah, see, it's a good build. It's a good build. Use this build. Man, I cannot remember. I cannot remember what I called them. Ah, dang. I missed that. Ah! Well, at least you can parry that pretty easy if you get caught up in that dude's rhythm. But still, I would prefer just not to be hit by the guards here regardless. I mean, like, yeah, you can do it. I'm not going to say that's good, but you can do it. And here we are, finally, in the Botanic. Arboretum? I guess I'll call it the Arboretum. Oh, I can't remember. I miss having those idiosyncratic names. They were fun. But like then I started to go to the castle less because their alternate areas and everything started to open up. Ah, well. Oh, you actually got something. I don't see that a whole lot. All right, well, that was easy. Whoa. Valmont's with, speaking of Castlevania style stuff. Oh, chat, what do you think? What are you thinking? Also, Cars. Yeah, I don't even. I think I saw the first Cars. That's all I've seen. Do it? Yes. Okay, but only for you. Whips are fun. It's a critical right on the end of it, which is really surprising to get. It was surprisingly difficult to get to. This is what I always call a skill weapon, more than like as opposed to some of the normal weapons, which just kind of scale off of, hey, do you have a critical or whatever your stats are or whatever. This one you have to position yourself just perfectly to get those critical hits. Critical hits are pretty powerful when they get off. There's a weapon from Transistor. I also played that game on the channel. Speaking of, again, super giant games. Skill weapon reason I never use it, and I totally understand that. Some skill weapons are easier than others to kind of get working, but this one is one of the more frustrating ones. I think they have extended the hitbox to be a little bit more friendly, but still, the fact that it is legendary too, and also does quite a bit of damage, just even with his the single regular hit. With the transistor, yes. Good game, by the way. I'll be honest, I actually probably prefer Transistor to Hades, because Transistor had such a fun, unique battle system to it and everything. I really loved playing that game. I always meant to go back and do some like the challenge stuff, but never did. It was a good game though. Hey, if you like Hades, go check out Transistor. Highly recommend it. Also, maybe like Bastion and everything. Just go to the Empire and just go play everything. It's all good. Got Hades 2 coming out eventually, don't we? I'm gonna play it, obviously. Because, like, Hades, even if I'm just like, I didn't like it as much as everybody else, still a really good game. Still a fantastic game. Still. Have you played Pyre? I did. I played it on stream. I probably made a lot of decisions vis-a-vis sending people home that are gonna be that it would make people mad. Hate the sword and Transistor. Without it would have been... Really? I like the sword. I didn't hate the sword at all. Alright, neato. Reveal myself that I don't watch you 24/7. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones... That was one of those stream-only sort of games. Like, whatever, I wasn't taking too much damage. See, having a survival build also means that, you know, you can take a lot of damage, which is pretty good. Like, yeah, that was one of those stream-only games. Like with, like I did with Control, or... There he is. He's doing it. Like I did with Control or with Spiritfarer. But, you know... Gonna be doing Midden soon enough, so... If you like weird RPG Maker games, look out for that one soon. Well, got all 3 keys, so along with being able to get into the next area proper, can also go back here. Get maybe another wolf trap. I mean, 100% I'm burning oil, but I don't have oil. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Ah, well. Yeah, it's like we need you in here to be moderating after all. Although there is a blueprint here, I have no ability to possibly get it right now. Which is too bad. I like that item. The boomerang. Ah, well. It's fine. We'll do it at some other point. Look, you still get a stat and everything, and a couple extra items. Money, if nothing else. It's pretty worthwhile, right? Let's die trying to get the blueprint without the necessary runes. I mean, we could. We can certainly do that. We could certainly make that sort of poor decision in our life. Oh, not quite enough. Still, though, good item. Good item. That's the punch item. So many feet item. That it was kind of a surprise to see that eventually come out. And then it was terrible. It felt like super janky and weird in how it was used. Of course, since has been significantly improved. But we'll do that later. Can use the bubble from the teleport to run through the spikes? Yeah, but how would I get up on top of the pillar there? All right. Final boss. At least for run 1. There are also many more final bosses left to go. Let's do it. Hand of the king. I'm ready. This guy. Pretty big sort of wall when it comes to first playing the game. However, you know, like I said, Nutcracker does work. He does not stay frozen for very long, but he stays frozen for long enough to... He stays frozen for long enough to at least get a couple hits off, even with the Nutcracker. And of course, there's like the different phases and whatnot, which are all annoying on their own. Having to deal with elites and whatnot, which can really wear down your health while doing this. However, if you can get one of the enemies to fall on top of him, it does a lot of damage. So... I'm not going to say that's worth trying to do, but it's something you can do. But yeah, there's so many little attacks that this guy has that are just so obnoxious because very little telegraphing done before it. It's kind of hard to like give some good advice here. There are like specific builds that work better than others, but God, a lot of it really is just like, you know, get good. Ah, come on now. But yeah, really try not to use the platforms on the side too much, but it is very useful for, you know, like wait, see what he does for an attack, and then jump up on top of here, get a couple hits in. I mean, even like his, you do get like brief invincibility when you have a shield equipped, and his 3-hit combo is just slow enough to make sure that he hits you with all 3 of those hits. It's annoying. It's a rough boss. Not gonna sugarcoat it here. But at the same time, with a good enough build, you can still blitz him down faster than he can. You can just DPS race him. And maybe that might be something worth doing if you're really struggling. I mean, I'm sure if you've played this game the first time and you're like, wow, you're really not taking a whole lot of damage. This is the power of having a survival run. And like building entirely into survival. On top of that, I also do, of course, have the... You have some stuff like the YOLO mutation, which will allow me to... Yeah. Take even more damage on top of that. And, you know, everything like that. Don't jump up there too fast. It's slower than it might seem. And there we go. Still done pretty well. I love the hand. He's a rough boss, though. I mean, I think that this dude just alone is quite the wall for a lot of people. And there's new game +1. There it is, everybody. And then we also got Telluric Shock. It's all right. It's all right. Don't hate it. But a symmetrical lance. A very special symmetrical lance. We did it, everybody. How do I get that secret outfit? I don't even remember. Yes, and then there's the credits, which it takes way too long to actually understand that they are just continuously looping over and over. So let's get into that. We saved the city, Patrick. I love this little thing. Whee! Can I? No. Well, don't get me wrong, Symmetrical Lance is great, but so is my cool Valmont's Whip. But yeah, still same sort of abilities that I had previously. And do stuff like and do stuff like climb on the wall because I'm so sticky and whatever. Not that it really matters too much. Whee! Well, there's also this over here. I mean, I don't even have hands, so not too much I'm going to be doing with that. But, yep. That is run number 1. Successful, because I'm a cool gamer that knows how to play video games. Tutorial finished. Yeah. Whoo, boy. And yeah, I guess that'll be probably good for the beginning here. Hey, look, it was a successful run. Oh, and I also got the bank, too. Right. That's just fun by itself. And boss rush. For the couple of bosses that I have introduced right now. And, I mean, you unlock a lot of different stuff when you beat the game for the first time, don't you? It's weird because, you know, of course... Oh, and also this. It's weird because, of course, you know, it's like a lot of this content took years to come out the first time. Kind of funny to think that. But that should do it. That should do it for a first episode. Try out a different type of build next time, is what I'm thinking.